I have had injury after injury thrown at me by Fortunato and have dealt with these injuries as best as I could. Now Fortunato has insulted my family and I can bear no longer. I had to have revenge, but any old revenge would not do me good. I had to punish Fortunato face to face. He needed to see that it was me who had gotten revenge and him that had wronged me. I had used Fortunato's biggest weakness to execute the revenge. Fortunato prided himself on his connoisseurship in wine. I also had an interest in Italian vintages myself, and with that, the revenge was set. The story begins during the supreme madness of the carnival season in Italy. It was around dusk when I ran into Fortunato. He greeted me very warmly due to his slight intoxication. Myself, very happy to see him, greeted him back.
Hello, my dear Fortunato. I am lucky I ran into you. I have just come across a barrel of wine that passes for Amontillado, but I have my doubts. Amontillado? I was on my way to Lucrezi, but I know his taste is no match for your own. Lucrezi cannot tell Amontillado from apple juice. Well, it's settled. Off we go. Where to? My vault. You must have an appointment with Lucrezi. I mean, not to impose. I have no engagement. Please, come.
And off we went to the vaults. I knew there would be no servants at home because the previous day I had informed my servants I would not be at home tonight, and I expected them to keep the house under good watch. Knowing my servants, I knew they would leave at any opportunity they had. I grabbed a torch for me and handed one to Fortunato as we walked in the house. We walked through the house to the entrance of the vaults. We descended down the stairs until we stood together on the damp floor of the catacombs.
Where is the Amontillado? Not much farther.
The walls of the vaults were very damp, and the riverbed overhead was not helping with Fortunato's cough.
Are you okay, Fortunato? I am fine, it is nothing. Come, your health is more precious than the Amontillado. We must not go any further. No, I will not die from a silly cough. It is your decision. Let's continue on. Drink. I drink to the buried that lie around us.
We continued on, but Fortunato's cough began to get worse. We were now under the bed of the river, and the walls were dripping wet.
We must not continue. Your cough. It is nothing. We must go on. But first, another drink.
I handed Fortunato a glass of de Grave, and he downed the glass quicker than you could say de Grave. He then proceeded to throw the glass upwards with a dramatic gesture I did not comprehend. I looked at him very confused, and he repeated the movement.
Do not understand? Understand what? You are not of the Mason Brotherhood. But I am. You do not recognize the sacred gesture of the Brotherhood. It is impossible you are a Mason. You must show me evidence of your Masonry. Behold. You're always joking around. Let's proceed to the Amontillado.
I replaced the trowel beneath my cloak and we continued walking. We passed under a hallway with small arches along the ceiling and descended further. As we walked to the end of a hallway, we approached a vault of sorts, with 3 walls covered in human remains, and a 4th empty, with an inner space about 4 feet wide and 3 feet deep, maybe 6 or 7 feet tall. It seemed like nothing out of the ordinary, and had granite along the back of the space. Fortunato stepped forward nervously.
Proceed. The Amontillado is just inside.
As Fortunato stepped forward, I followed at his heels. I took the chance I had and pushed him against the granite. Inside were 2 iron shackles that I bound to his waist. I stepped back to admire what I had accomplished so far.
Do you see how damp these walls are? You can't help but to feel the walls. The Amontillado!
Yes, the Amontillado. It seems as though you won't be drinking any Amontillado tonight. I turned around and uncovered a pile of bones to find some stone and mortar. With these materials and the help of my trowel, I began to cover the hole. Fortunato began to cry. It was not the cry of a drunken man, and I had realized the alcohol had worn off. There was a period of silence, and I began laying the fourth tier of the wall when I heard the chains begin to rattle very aggressively. Fortunato continued to rattle the chains for several minutes, during which I took a break from the wall to enjoy Fortunato's struggle as much as possible. When the rattling stopped, I continued building the wall. As I was coming to a close, a loud yell from inside the wall thrust me back, and for a moment I quivered, but I began to yell back, surpassing Fortunato's scream in volume and strength. His screams finally ceased. It was almost midnight as I began to bring the wall to a finish. I was placing the last stone when a deep laugh made the hairs on my neck grow erect. Bars. A sad voice, which I had difficulty recognizing if it was Fortunato's or not, said,
Ha ha ha, a very good joke, an excellent joke indeed. We will have a very good laugh at the Palazzo about this.
Fortunato, is that you?
For the love of God, Montre, sir.
Yes, Fortunato, for the love of God. Fortunato! Fortunato! I called again, but once again no answer. I thrust my torch into the wall, and out came a measly jingling of bells. I began to feel very sick in my heart, due to the dampness of the catacombs, and nothing else. I worked fast to pull the last stone into place, and exited the vault. For half a century, no human has been in the vault since. Rest in peace, Fortunato.